and welcome back. Today I thought I'd talk about budget skin buys. I was out with a group of beauty friends last night and we were having a really heated discussion about the price of beauty products, and I am absolutely passionate about searching out for the best on the high street, or if you're watching this in the States, the best from the drugstores. I worked for years on magazines where you barely paid attention to the prices of what you were writing about. And I now feel, in retrospect, incredibly guilty about that. And it was only when I started my YouTube channel and I started featuring products that I truly love, that I think are worth the money. Say, for example, SkinCeuticals C Ferulic, which is £129. And suddenly I was getting lots of DMs saying, but that's a lot of money. And it made me kind of lift my head out of a beauty bubble and think, that is a lot of money for most people. So I always try to offer high street alternatives. Sometimes they're really hard to find, but these 5 are absolute winners. I have taken these off of my own beauty shelf, which means one thing: they really work, and they are all budget prices that are available on the high street. So where should we start? I quite often recommend people save money on cleansers. In my opinion, most of your cleanser ends up down the sink, down the plug hole, but it still needs to be incredibly caring, incredibly gentle, and personally, I like a single step wash off, rinse off cream cleanser. When I team it with my, and I haven't mentioned it here, or I haven't featured it here, when I team it with my microfiber £1.50 bargain cloth, these cleansers will get rid of every single speck of makeup, I promise. And your skin will be left cool, smooth, hydrated, never tight or never dry. And I have 2. This is the one I most often recommend, and it's called Your Good Skin Nourishing Hot Cloth Cleanser. And it actually comes with its own slightly too small muslin cloth. It works with a muslin cloth. It works so much better with a microfiber cloth though. This is unscented, hydrating, loaded with fatty acids. It cleanses super gently. It doesn't foam at all. No tightness, no dryness. It suits all skin types. I recommend this for all ages and all skin types. I've yet to find a high street cleanser that is as good as that. It really is that good, which means it's available from Boots, because it's a Boots own brand, by the way, Your Good Skin, which I'm hoping means it's available at Walgreens, but it is also available online. If, however, you're having trouble finding that, I also really love the Superdrug Vitamin E Hot Cloth Cleanser. There's only one reason, this is better value for money, there's only one reason why I would choose the Boots one over this, and this one is very slightly scented. Now, here's my rule on scented skincare. In an ideal world, not a single thing that you put on your face will be scented. Meanwhile, back in the real world, 99% of skincare is. Cleansers are in contact with your skin for a shorter length of time, therefore it's slightly less of a concern for sensitive skins. You know that sensitive skins are going to be most sensitized, in my opinion, to scents, fragrances, and they're only put in there for one reason and one reason only, and that's to make something smell good. This has a very slightly citrus smell to it, which I quite like. It doesn't irritate my skin. Just a warning though, if you are sensitive to scents, avoid this one and try this one. They're such good value for money. They last for ages. I cut this one open recently and scraped the last out. In my opinion, best budget cleansers on the market. Now let's talk about budget moisturizers. Just recently I went to the launch of CeraVe in the UK. I know it's been available in other countries for a very long time. And I was confronted by this big tub of what looked like gunky cream, and I was a bit sort of... And one of the founding dermatologists said to me, no, go on, put your hand in it. And I was amazed at how hydrating, how whipped and lightweight it was, and how easily it went into my skin. But of course I prefer a lotion. This is CeraVe Moisturizing Lotion. It says for dry and very dry skins, but I've used it. I used it during the colder weather in the UK. If my face was ever feeling a little bit dry or tight after a flight, I would use it. If I was on a budget, this would be my go-to moisturizing lotion. Everywhere, top to toe, legs, arms. It's absolutely brilliant. It delivers what dermatologists have now identified as being the important things to hydrate your skin, i.e. not oils and heavy unguents and occlusive ingredients, but things like hyaluronic acid, glycerin, ceramides, fatty acids, all those things that your skin produces naturally it delivers them back to it in a perfectly balanced way. There is also a rinse off cleanser, a green one, that I also really like and I use quite regularly. I would use the cream cleanser at night that I just mentioned to take off my makeup, and in the morning when you want something maybe a little fresher and a little lighter, CeraVe do a really good rinse off cleanser as well that also becomes, there's also one of my budget buys. Right, now I want to talk about my favourite budget peel. And this is going to be a slightly contentious one because there is a divide in the beauty industry at the moment as to whether we should be mentioning this brand or not. I am going to side with the consumer and say that not all people can afford to ignore really good budget skincare, and this is without a doubt my favourite budget peel. So this is the ordinary AHA 30%, BHA 2%, and it's the scary red one that you often see on Instagram where they sort of drip it down their faces and it sort of looks like blood. It's an absolutely brilliant once or twice a week peel. You put it on your skin. It says to leave it on for 10 to 15 minutes. I've left it on for well over half an hour. I've not had a single problem with it at all. I take it right down onto my neck and onto my chest. Whether you agree with what's happening with Deciem at the moment and what's happening on their social media feed is up to you. If you decide not to buy it, I totally understand it. But if you're on a budget and you're looking for really great skincare that is completely budget friendly, this is still my favourite peel. If, however, you can find an alternative, will you slide into my DMs and let me know? I still really love this product. And finally, I'm going to mention my go-to skin balm. Now, there are lots of super high-end unguenty balms out there. A lot of them are petroleum based, which personally I don't have a problem, but I wouldn't necessarily put on my skin. I don't know if you know the way that petroleum jelly works. It basically sits on the top of the skin. It doesn't absorb into the skin at all. And what it does is it then occludes the skin so your skin can't lose any moisture at all. It's great on things like, it's completely inert, so it's great on things like cuts and bites and stings and dry lips. However, why would you use that if you could use something that would actually repair your skin? Over the winter, I talked a lot, along with Lily Pebbles, about the Cicaplast Lèvres from La Roche-Posay. Well, they also do a Cicaplast Balm B5. Has all of the same active ingredients, the humectants, the emollients, the moisturizers, the ceramides, the fatty acids, but it's also loaded with vitamin B5, which means it's healing and soothing. And this I would never travel anywhere without. This is what I would take on the plane with me if my skin was feeling dehydrated at 30,000 feet. This is what I would rub into the back of my hands if, for example, I just spent, which I have, a weekend cleaning my patio and looking after my garden. This is my go-to emergency repair, and it's really good value for money. You could quite happily put this over your lips and even over your eyes. A lot of people get a little bit of eczema in here and dryness. I've always also been known to put it into the front of my scalp here if I get a little bit of an irritation after using hair dye. It's that go-to, on the run, always keep a tube of it handy, healing skin hydrator. I really love it. I love the entire range, but this is like a multi-purpose balm. So they are my 5 high street skin heroes. Will you let me know what yours are? Down below, just say to me, by the way, have you looked at this brand? Or have you looked at this product? Or I found a cheaper alternative. My rule pretty much is suits all skin, suits all ages, suits both men and women, budget friendly beauty. I always say if I lost my job tomorrow, what would I buy? These are the things that are on my shelf that I currently buy, and I would carry on using long into retirement if they're all still around, and hopefully they are. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Today is a Thursday video, obviously. On Sunday, how about my fave 5 budget makeup buys? In fact, there's sort of 4.5 makeup and 1 fragrance buy.